With just the volume of movies being watched as the nature of the work demands it, there is bound to be experiences that can be best described as pure torture. You never want these films to turn out to be train wrecks, but they become so unbearable as the running minutes extend themselves that you start doubting not only the purpose of your existence, but why you went out of your way to review the film. Getting right into some of the worst experiences I had watching movies this year, here is Tried&Refused Productions with top 10 worst Indian movies of 2022. Number 10 goes to RADHE SHYAM. I had my skepticism on full alert when I heard about the venture RADHE SHYAM. I was shocked at the number of videos YouTube creators were making on how Prabhas with this film is going to absolutely change the game and how a venture mounted on a budget of 350 crores is going to be revolutionary. Spending that much money on scale when the core emotion of the relationship itself does not connect with the audience. You realize that the pursuit of pan-Indian films is wrong from the onset. The comedic punchlines, especially in the hospital one, comfortable, the attempt for abandon with fantastical elements like the anime worlds of Makoto Shinkai fell absolutely flat, having the most bizarre conclusion of finding a solution on the wild sea, being edited so poorly, jump cutting conveniently to a happy ending which audiences were just assumed to accept. The film turned out to be a colossal mess, being high on production design and scale but hollow from within with respect to emotions, which should have been the only prerequisite to making a love story. Number 9 goes to AARAATTU. It's been a really uncomfortable year to support Mohanlal at the movies because unlike Mammootty and his exciting ventures with several artists, Mohanlal seems to be stuck with dated storylines that have barely risen despite his star presence. A clear sign that even loyal fans expect way more from the legend. Mohanlal in a movie like AARAATTU, a film that is a clear sign of creators not having evolved and feeding the audience the same old tropes that we saw in the mid-2000s. Mohanlal is an exceptional actor, regarded and celebrated as the complete actor, but to utilize his stardom in a film with such prehistoric concepts like fighting for the people, undercover identities and mass action set pieces of one versus many, it just seemed like I was taken on a time travel machine back to 2005. Over the top and generic is an understatement, and I finished this film and realized that I'm not going to remember or even debate about a single aspect of this story. Deservedly trolled by Malayalam film fans, we just want our favourite to bounce back with better scripts. Number 8 goes to Acharya. You know, there is an evolution of cinema and its consumption when even the star presence of Ram Charan and Chiranjeevi is not enough to pull audiences into theatres. A rejection by the audience for a lack of a compelling script and a clear sign that mediocrity will not thrive. You have a temple town, practices of Ayurveda, evil goons, a transformation of vice, and a man who saves them and shows them the light. The duo that joins hands together account for such a generic canvas for a mass commercial entertainer. You had an absolutely lackluster background score, the dated tropes of evil city folk versus innocent dharmic villagers. You have speeches and moments of moral policing, while at the same time heroes engage in item numbers and do the same. And worst of all, wasting the talent involved, making them tropes of stars and not really understanding that they are actors first. Chiranjeevi with Godfather was also in a colossal mess of a film, and I wonder whether creators are just confused on how to utilize the legend. Number 7 goes to NIKAMMA. Nothing makes me more mad than seeing actors who willingly jump into a well of doom when it comes to movies that have all the signs of failing, remaking an already mediocre product and making it 10 times worse. The best example being NIKAMMA, a remake of Middle Class Abbai. NIKAMMA starring Abhimanyu Dasani, Shilpa Shetty and Shirley Setia was painful to say the least. You had Abhimanyu attempting mass cinema after such a cool debut, delivering threatening dialogues like a poetry recitation competition, and poor Shirley Setia in a debut which makes her say the most cringeworthy dialogues. She's not an alcoholic or a drug addict, she's a love addict. Not to forget a dialogue that made the entire theatre chuckle as a goon tells his gang, "Aaj se tumhara sab keto diet protein shake band." Nothing became more painful than a second half with Abhimanyu being the Ichhadari Bhai every minute and a hammy mass performance of Shilpa Shetty that was aimed as her comeback. I don't know why Sony had so much faith on this product. Number 6 goes to Mr. Mummy. If you want to look at a movie that had all the ingredients to be a sweet and compelling family drama in a small town in India but gets transported in a country that it has no business being in and is cut short in its running time to 1 hour and 40 minutes, almost giving it a feeling of a YouTube skit rather than a motion picture, it has to be the embarrassing Mr. Mummy that uses the cute duo of Ritesh and Janelia and makes such a terribly short, edited and structured film. The issue is that the film is confused on what it wants to be. It's neither a social comedy, nor a cute romantic comedy, nor is it a slapstick fun film. It's just a khichdi dealing with an interesting subject lazily, almost as if it couldn't care less about its quality. I wonder how the director shot the film, wrote it, and adapted the script so badly and still thought it would be lapped up by the audience. Then I remember he was responsible for Call My Agent on Netflix as well, so I'm not surprised at all actually. Number 5 goes to Monster, a year in which I thought that it could not get more dated, uninteresting and boring with Mohanlal and AARAATTU. In came a movie that was so badly executed, so much so that it transpired to become an absolute disaster even in Kerala. The movie is Monster, starring Mohanlal. A film so tone deaf in its execution that it will make you facepalm when you observe the portrayals of not only Punjabis but the LGBTQI community as well. Mohanlal is literally speaking Punjabi and Hindi to Keralites with such a broken accent and a character that is technically undercover. He does such a terrible job in coming across as the role he has to play, so that no one suspects him. Always associated with a Punjabi dhol and background score when he comes on screen. The portrayal of a lesbian relationship clearly denotes creators who see them as different, almost like horny animals than just normal citizens wanting equality. And the twists are interesting on paper, but coupled with such hammy performances, you really start wondering what were they even thinking formulating this as a thriller with a terrible social lesson by the end of it. Number 4 goes to HEROPANTI 2. A travesty in every way, but credit to the producers and makers for exactly delivering what the trailer promised, an absolute shit show. There was literally no saving this film. One of the worst music albums created by A.R.Rahman, making me think he couldn't care less about the product going out there. Stolen set pieces to the max from Dark Knight's Joker, the chessboard in Sorcerer's Stone, the hacking sequence from Swordfish. There is zero originality in this film and nothing but crass moments. Full forms of MCBC being "Main chali by cutie," touching a girl's boob and saying "Sir, ye to bada mamla hai." This was peak comedy and entertainment in every way. Tara Sutaria's loud and obnoxious acting taking back women in commercial films 10 years, and Tiger's butt featuring more in the frame than his face, accounting for a supporting role performance that deserves a Bartley Award for sure. This was passed off by some critics and trade pundits as mass cinema done right. Make it make sense, please. Number 3 goes to Liger. Probably one of the most torturous movie experiences was to see the Puri Jagannath directed film Liger. How long can you just appreciate the physical transformation of an actor, especially when the script is dumb that it eventually transpires to become a lot of nothingness rather than a storyline? The stammering protagonist, the about to go to New York bloody star heroine, the terrible music, and the little to zero chemistry shared between the leads. A terrible cameo by Mike Tyson that has no business being in the film, a cameo he doesn't even remember by the way, and a Ramya Krishnan still in the shouting Bahubali hangover that makes us just feel bad that they did her dirty by extracting such a hammy performance from her. Not to forget an unintentionally funny Chunky Pandey role also, making Liger a mess and an excuse of a mass commercial film. Number 2 goes to Circus. I really didn't think Hindi cinema would have the ability to end on such a bad note with its Christmas release, and oh boy was Circus absolutely unbearable. The problem with slapstick films like this is that the creators are so convinced that they have a goldmine of comedic gags written in the script that they take themselves so seriously of having this unbreakable bond with the audience that the movie doesn't even reach the category of so bad that it's good. It just becomes a bad movie that terribly wastes its comedic actors and is performed at such a loud pitch to compensate for bad acting that you are left with a splitting headache, nothing less and nothing more. Circus really should be an eye-opener for Ranveer Singh and Rohit Shetty, not to take the audience for granted, because I can't really pinpoint how or why they thought this was going to work in any way. Number 1 goes to The Legend. No one can touch this film because it is in the realm beyond comparison. If there is one person or film that can reach its pinnacle of cinematic perfection, it can only be badass Ravi Kumar. I feel bad including The Legend in this list because it is in a realm not fit for discussion by lowly mortals like us. It's something recognized by the creators themselves because they have not released it on an OTT platform either, knowing that it's tough to comprehend such a complex film. The style, the quality, the dance moves, the sexual chemistry between the leads, everything was perfect in this film. When legend Sarvana performed each and every stunt himself with his space boots on, I knew I was safe in the world, because who wouldn't feel safe when a physical specimen like himself will protect someone? Urvashi, the most popular and acclaimed actor of this country, putting forth the performance of a lifetime, and I wonder why she hasn't bagged the national award yet for this film. His Sigma and Riz nature with the ladies is something I should take pointers from. The flawless skin, the perfectly balanced hair, I can go on for days about this film. But just remember, when it drops on any OTT platform, you will be lucky to be graced with the presence of this masterpiece. And that was the video, guys. Write it down in the comments below what were the worst experiences at the movies this year for you. Please don't forget to follow me on Instagram. The handle's right in front of you. Follow me at JammyPants4. Also, please support us by smashing the like button and subscribing to our channel for weekly content ahead. Thank you for watching.